Take 5 with RicoVibes, the ultimate in entertainment. Live interviews, social commentary, and so much more. Go tell somebody you're now locked into Take 5 with RicoVibes.
What's up, everybody? It's yours truly, RicoVibes, and welcome to another edition of Take 5. I got a very special guest in the building. I know him as LeVar. You probably know him as Spider.
Wow, this man started off with governments. Wow.
But your government is on your social media, bro.
You're right. That's just Facebook because
Facebook
doesn't
allow you.
To,
right.
Yeah, because that was a whole to do a couple of years ago, but that's besides the
True.
point.
But I know him as a photographer, a videographer, a trainer. I don't know what we're gonna deal with today because he's got so many jobs. He's a true West Indian, true Caribbean person.
I mean, it's just. I mean, we come to America and we just work.
Yeah. But what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good to be here, brother. Good to be here.
It's been a couple of years in the making.
Yeah. Because we were supposed to do this interview maybe. I want to say probably 5 years ago.
when I first started it. But you know what? Nothing happens before it's time.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
So where do I start, man? You know, I met you as a photographer, of course.
Yeah.
But you have evolved.
I guess evolution always takes place.
It's inevitable.
We grow and we grow into the things that we're passionate about and that we're supposed to do.
Right.
So.
Right.
I really can say this has been one hell of a journey. It has its ups, its downs, it's backwards, forward, sideways, left, right, upside. It's been a crazy ride. Everybody, a lot of people see the progression and see the success and think it happened just because.
Right.
No, it was a lot of I suck at this. I'm good at this.
Right.
Damn, I'm broke.
Right.
All right, I think I can handle this. Oh crap, this costs too much. But yeah, then it just progression.
Right.
The thing is just sticking with it and keep going. That's the main thing. Because the moment you think you think it's over, that's another pathway, another door just opens, and you're like, oh. Okay,
I can
that's
do
what
this.
that was for.
Right.
I had to go through this to get here. Okay, that makes sense.
So photography, was that your first foray into like entertainment?
No, actually not. Photography was just a passion I had. My first, believe it or not, I've been promoting events since middle school.
Really?
Yeah. So I always had a knack for getting people to come to events. On a different scale. So my teacher saw this and was like, hey, we're putting together a middle school dance. Can you help us do what we do? And then just little flyers went out. And then transitioned into high school. Most people don't know I was actually on the drum line in high school. Shh, don't tell anybody. But
okay.
So raising money for the band, I was like, okay, let's just throw a party. And then it just kept going from there. And that was my first introduction into the industry. I've had people. I've had Joe Buttons come to my high school for events. I had Lala come to my high school. I had what's this? Memphis Bleak. I've had 50 come to my high school just for events that I threw at my high school. So I've been in this game quite a while. I'm not going to tell you my age, but yeah, I've been here quite a while. Yeah, this is years ago.
So the name Icons.
That I actually work with a DJ by the name of Daddy Dre. Icons was his brand. So we worked together at another company, and we decided to work together because he saw what I was doing on my side with just bridging the gap on certain pieces, and he was like, yo, I have this brand I'm working with. Shout out to Daddy Dre. And yeah, let's get together and see what we can do. And then we just started pushing it forward and pushing the envelope in terms of different places we can actually bring that brand, because he was more of an eclectic old school DJ. But then it started to with the connections I had, we flipped it on its head and started bringing the newer school into it. And it's to the point where we had elite mixers going on at, I don't know, he doesn't own the golf range anymore, but Dr. J's golf range, we were doing mixers at his golf range. And this is 2007, 2008, 2009. So it was a lot of stuff that off of the scene we were doing. So, but I mean, of course, we do stuff on the scene because we were both Jamaican at the time. I mean, not Jamaican at the time. We're Jamaican forever. But off of the scene, it was just bringing old school dancehall music to a different element, to a different genre, because a different space, because then people had no idea, and it was just refreshing for us to be able to do it.
Wow. DJ Stevens, how did you guys met, and how did you guys became, I would say, kind of partnership?
So I'm gonna correct you on something.
Okay.
You didn't meet me as a photographer.
What did I meet you as?
You don't remember the Who Dem crew?
No.
Me, Detta, Ray, and Ace.
Oh, snap. Yes. I forgot about that. My apologies. Yes.
So,
wow.
I will, yeah, I was one of those dancers back in the day. Yeah, I was definitely one of those. And
yes.
We were, you guys now are tame. That's all I'm going to say.
What year was this? 03, 04?
This is
maybe?
05, 06, 07.
Okay.
This is when Peacock was up there.
Yeah.
This is when this was Aquarium.
Yeah.
This is
a party room.
This is when
426. What is 426?
Echelon 3000.
Echelon, yeah.
That's like those venues are still around.
Yeah.
Like these are days we're jumping off of speaker boxes and yes.
Was the style.
So yeah, we were
was a new style.
Stephen was DJing what was that place? Verve.
Whoa.
Right. So
that was downtown. Was it downtown? Yeah.
In Midtown.
Midtown.
So,
Peachtree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mark Stewart.
Yeah.
He would play at that event. Mind you, we passed each other many times in different places and so on and so forth. But when I was rolling with the Who Dem crew, it's just hilarious to even say that name now. Lord God, something wrong with me.
Man, that's a throwback.
Yeah.
Hell of a throwback.
Yeah, this is when we had airbrushed hoodies.
Yeah.
And airbrushed jackets.
Oh,
Lord. But and of course, we would at these events just to dance and hype up and do all types of madness and just create that vibe inside the event. So he would DJ and he'd call like, yo, come through and just hype up the thing. I'm just all right, cool. We'd come through and then we got tight after that. And then one day, right outside our party room, he had an issue with his website. And I was like, man, I can't get this dude on the phone. Like, I have a problem with this, da-da-da-da-da. So most people don't know.
I know.
Yeah, I'm somewhat of a techie. My degree is in aerospace engineering, so I'm very much a tech person. So
what's a better word for nerd?
Wow, really? That's what you want to do? So right outside the party room, I bust out my laptop and I was like, "What's the domain?" And it was like DJ Steven Music, and he was like, "Yeah, but I can't get the passwords." I said, "Give me 2 minutes." Broke into the website, and I was like, "What needs to be changed?" And I turned around and he looked at me. He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you have no security. This was easy." So, and then from then on, we just went.
Wow. So you've literally traveled the world.
Yeah.
With Stevens and doing other things, of course.
Yeah, we've been around the world a couple times.
Yeah.
We've brought Caribbean music to places that they've never heard. So, and experienced festivals that I didn't know existed and didn't know crowds can amass in such numbers. Because the first time I laid eyes on 7 to 8 million people in one crowd.
Whoa!
I was standing at the side of that stage and looking out and going, "Holy sh!"
Wow!
Yeah. So it's been a journey and it's been an experience for real. So being able to see different places, see different cultures, and then not only that, getting back to the roots and going to different islands and seeing how they're different but the same at the same time. It's so dope to see because you'll pull up on one block and be like, "Yo, that look like my Osana." And then you'll go and you'll walk into a shop and you'll see the drunkard Ponicana and and then it's just like it's different. The dialects are somewhat different, but it's so much of the same thing. And that's why I feel at home on any island. Wow. Any island, I'm home.
Wow. Speaking of events, you're wearing a shirt that says Ace. Atlanta Carnival Experience. That started what, about 3-4 years ago? Was it
3-4 years. This is year 7, brother.
Is year 7?
This is year 7.
See how time flies. Year 7.
This is year 7.
Talk about the whole concept.
So, with ACE, Atlanta Carnival Experience, what we wanted to do is not only put on events, but highlight that there are larger scale events that take place in Atlanta to bring more people in to support what the carnival is itself, but to also create that ecosystem that shows like Atlanta's a place to come to, because a lot of times the discussion is nothing else is happening besides the road. Why are we going down there? And this is from the outside. And it's like, all right, so what do we need to do to change this? So Stephen and I sat down one year and was like, you know what? Let's just put together a weekend of events that are around the carnival. Not interfere with the carnival itself, just have different events around it. And then we took off, which that year I cried because, boy, people really, really don't understand how expensive this is.
Yeah.
They really, and I'm going to share a tidbit. My very first year doing this, I lost 64 grand
64,000
on one show.
Wow. Which show was that?
The Marshall show.
Wow.
Because we went all out to do above and beyond in certain things. So it was like we had to set a standard, set a bar. So it was like, we're going to spend the money because it's going to come back later.
Right.
So we did.
64,000 on one event.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about the whole.
Not even the whole weekend. That's just one event.
One event.
But yeah, I'm not going to lie, I almost quit. But I took a step back and looked at it and went, at the end of the day, this is a major investment into something that's going to be moving forward. And I'm glad we didn't, because boy, if we did, just think about it. If we quit that year, SSS would not be here.
Yeah.
Duckwork would not be here.
Yeah.
These events that are outside events, major outside events, coming to Atlanta to be a part of the Atlanta Carnival scene, wouldn't be here if we gave up. So I'm glad we didn't.
And so you've taken the weekend, obviously it says Atlanta Carnival Experience, but you've taken it other cities.
Well, ACE in itself is still here, but the brands behind ACE, or the entities behind ACE, have established other events in other countries, other staples in other countries, other cities, just to keep moving it forward, and the audience that we have follow us, and to keep them happy, because the last thing you want to do is go stagnant for a long period of time without giving the audience something to do. So that's why we continuously jump and jump and jump and jump and jump and jump and jump.
Gotcha. Being a person who traveled the world, obviously, you know, yourself doing carnivals and just experiencing carnivals around the world, what do you see as changes happening in the whole entire industry?
You really want to open this can of worms?
Yes, I do.
Fine. More people are looking for a complete package of what to expect, and they want for lack of a better term, just a curated experience. So I give you your itinerary. This is where you're staying. This is the events, the list of events that we have. This is your costume pickup. This is the road. This is the route. This is what we're doing. We give you a full itinerary so that they show up and just have fun, so they don't have to think. Gotcha. Versus before, everybody would go and just try to figure out what they do and blah, 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 make all types of groups. I mean, the groups still get created, but the groups are created like, all right, this package came out, so we doing this. Everybody in, and it just goes from there.
Gotcha.
And it's just a group movement from place to place now, versus individuals going ding, 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 ding. So along with that, younger designers are starting to get a little bit more shine when it comes to costumes on the road, and costumes are becoming less and less material.
A lot less material. A lot less.
So, and a lot of people, and I have this argument with people all the time, people confuse carnival culture with Fet culture. So, and people think because they understand Fet culture, they understand carnival culture. And it's very two different things. Yes, carnivals happen and Fets happen because of carnival.
Right.
Fets, carnivals don't happen because of Fets. And
Facts.
people don't seem to realize that. Because you're an expert in fits, you know how to handle carnival. No, you don't. Carnival's a whole monster in itself. From personal experience, from being on numerous planning committees and organizations that take carnival from conception to delivery. Trust me, carnival is one of the hardest, thankless things you can actually put together.
You, again, traveling the world, what have you seen any growth? Obviously, we have one
yes.
carnival here in Atlanta now.
Oh, yes.
You've seen growth in, at least specifically, Atlanta's carnival.
I mean, it's good that there's one carnival now. Growth and maturity is going to have to take place for it to be fully successful. I may ruffle some feathers by saying this, but I don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm speaking from a perspective of organizing and looking at carnivals around the world and how big they are and how much of an influx people travel to go to these things. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of people book flights to go to these places. And things need to be structured, and there has to be a collective movement and push in unison to get everything moving forward. Fighting back and forth doesn't make sense.
Do you think they still have fighting back and forth? Especially now that it's one carnival?
Not as much as it used to be. So there's definitely growth in that manner. I mean, I personally had it against my events because people thought, one, we weren't supposed to be doing these things here. I'll give an example, and I'm not going to call any names because I don't do that. Somebody called a partner I was working with, partners from out of state, and said, Spydamanx and Steven don't live in Atlanta, so why are you partnering with them?
Really?
And of course, the partner called us, and I looked at him, and I was like, really, dude? You know damn well I live here, so... And he was like, I'm just letting you know what people are saying. And I just, in that mind, I'm just like, why? What's the point? Because if you give people options, it's more enticing. If you only give them one choice to show up to a place, it's like you only have one thing to do. What else? Why am I going to book a flight to come down here? Most people don't realize. Most of the patrons that attend ACE are not from Atlanta, but every year since our first year has been successful. So we're bringing in people, and they attend other events. Because we don't have events 24/7. We have set times. There's day fest, there's night fest. Sometimes we do something in the day, somebody else does something at night. We do something at night, somebody else does something during the day. And there's people bounce from event to event. That's just how the culture goes. I've yet to go to a carnival where someone goes to one fete and stays there the entire time.
Facts.
They jump from fete to fete to fete because they want to experience different things. So you create variety and that experience to then entice people to come to where you're setting up shop. So it's a benefit. Some people just are very small-minded and don't see bigger pictures and things. But it is what it is.
What do you have planned for this year? Is it going to be a different experience, a bigger experience? What do you have planned?
Well, this is year 7, so we're doing 7 events in 5 days. So be prepared not to sleep.
Okay, well, I think they're prepared for that anyway, right? I mean, that's the whole carnival experience is no
right.
sleep.
You're absolutely correct. So, but it's just we're pushing things a bit further. We're trying things that we haven't tried before. So, I don't want to spill all of it yet, but
stay tuned. Is more
absolutely.
Like it. But let's talk about you being a trainer, because I know again you have so many different jobs that you do. A trainer.
So, for most people that don't know, I'm actually a tactical instructor as well. So I teach people how to fight and shoot. Defensively, of course, because defending yourself is more important than being the aggressor, because when you become the aggressor, you eventually tend to get locked up. So I'm not here to teach you how to go fight people. I'm here to teach you how to defend yourself against whoever may be trying to assault you in any way, and to do it within the confines of the law. That is the main point. Everybody thinks because they have a firearm, because they know how to fight, they can actually go out and do whatever they want. But there's one term I like to drill into people's head. It's called MAC, Mutually Agreed Combat.
Okay.
MAC. Because say me and you get into an argument, and you say, yeah, go beat me up. And I say, yo, come try it. I agreed to fight you.
True.
So I cannot, at that point, claim self-defense. because I agreed to fight you.
Got it.
Now, if you start beating me up and me pull out my gun and shoot you, I'm going to jail because that's attempted murder. So
Okay.
I agreed to fight you. Now, if you come at me and, hey, look, I want no problems. I want no problems. And you continue to come at me and I defend myself, guess what?
Self-defense.
Self-defense. But most people don't think.
Yeah.
They think as soon as you start getting beat up, oh, God, I can claim self-defense. No, you cannot. Stop. Just stop. But it's just knowing the laws and understanding them. That is my main goal, is to get our people educated on the laws and how to do it correctly. Because a lot of times we get jammed up for stupidity. Just that's the main thing. Just get jammed up for stupidity.
How's that been going, though? Has people been embracing it?
Yes. Believe it or not, most of my students are women.
Really?
I would say 90% of my students are women, because women tend to take this more seriously.
Right.
Men have egos and think they know what they're doing already until they meet somebody that really knows what they're doing.
That better than them, so to
Right.
speak.
So it's just, then it's a different argument.
Yeah.
And so it's always a very interesting conversation when I start talking to individuals that think they know what they're doing, and then we go on the range or we get on the mat, and then we demonstrate, and they go, "Oh, okay."
How did you get into this, though?
How did I become a trainer or an instructor per se? Well, most people don't know. I'm also a contractor as well. So security force contracts. So I take jobs overseas to do private security or governmental security services. And with that, I realized, one, I like teaching because I had to teach a couple classes while I was over there just based on expertise. And I came back and I realized there's not really a voice for us in that space. I mean, there is. Shout out to, well, there's a couple guys. Guy by the name of Buck out in Texas, hell of an instructor, ridiculous sniper, ridiculous. And one of the most famous is a guy by the name of Kalian Noir. But other than that, we really don't have a voice. So there are hundreds of instructors, and maybe 0.5% is black.
Wow.
And I just saw a need. So I took the time to go get certified, retrain in the manner in how to instruct and versus just demonstrating, and then took it from there. And I've actually been an instructor for 6 years now.
Okay.
And then I switched organizations and became an instructor, a master instructor with another organization, which where I'm currently at now. So,
Okay. What would you say is your main job, if there's such a thing as a main job for Spyda?
I don't know enough.
You want to know?
I have no clue.
Really?
Because I don't know if
Depending on the season.
Yeah, it really does, because I don't know if I can actually say that I have a main gig. My main gig is I'm a dad.
Okay.
That's my main gig.
Right.
That's it. But really and truly, it's I really can't put my finger on that. Do I love to travel? Yes. Do I love curating events? Yes. Do I love to teach? Yes. I mean, I love all of them. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it.
Right.
Because I haven't punched the clock since 2010. So, but I continue to push this forward because it's just something I love doing. I mean, I love all facets of everything I'm doing, because they all tie into each other. Because with my knowledge of events, I can put together an event. With my training and understanding of logistics, I can put together an event where people feel safe. And then with my training, when people see my face, they automatically feel safe. So I have a lot of women, patrons that come up to me and be like, "I'm glad you're here." So there's a sigh of relief that when people show up to an event that I'm a part of and they see me there, it's like, okay, I know we're good here. So that in itself is a piece of joy, because when someone can say to you, they'll go to your event just because you're there, so because they feel safe and nobody's going to try them. it's a good feeling because
Absolutely.
I've thrown people out. I've thrown people over fences. I've security's always had my back. I've always had security's back. I've had patrons have my back when I've gotten into altercations at events. So because they know the type of atmosphere we're trying to create.
Got it.
So
Got it.
it's been fun to say the least.
I know one of the first times I really recognized your work in terms of putting together an event or just putting together decorations or whatever was I think it was Blossom. You know, and it was a few years back, and I was like, wow, you know, I was just in awe of the work you did, and that's when I realized, okay, this guy is really onto something.
Well, shout out to the team, the event, of course, Nyasha. That's my partner there, so because without her, I would do it, but I wouldn't do it on that level because between me and her minds, we just figure out madness and just put stuff together. Like she'll throw me an idea and then I'll throw it back and then we'll just build and build and build. Next thing you know, we have.
Yeah.
So,
did you have anything to do with May Day?
Doing
maybe not. Any of the decorations for May Day?
No.
Okay.
Did we do? No, I don't think we did.
Okay.
Mayday.
But that one definitely, Blossom definitely stood out in my mind because it was just awesome.
Yeah.
You know, when you walked in, oh, okay. It's not just a simple backyard anymore.
No. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
It was a long process to get there.
Yeah.
It was hot. Oh my gosh, it was hot. But we had to. She had a vision, and we just built upon it and made it make sense. So I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due because her mind is different. But when we put our minds together, we can make anything look. You would never know that was a backyard.
Yeah.
You would never know that was a
You
backyard.
definitely transformed it.
So
Definitely transformed it. If someone wants those expertise and how, do you do work, outside work, or you just have a certain clientele? That
No. We work with anybody. The problem is we're not cheap.
Right.
That's the main thing, and that's in all facets of any industry I work in, because I've spent years and years and years and years and years and years and years cultivating, curating, and sharpening these skill sets to be able to do it, and just by off eyesight, to the point where I get flown to other countries to do this.
Right.
But here at home, oh, you're too expensive. All right, cool. And then
So you're never a king in your own country.
I mean, of course. But then it gets put together, and they look at the event and be like, "Boy, I wish you would have did it." And, well, you didn't want to pay. What you want me to do?
Right.
So,
wow. What's next for you? Is there anything else that you want to conquer, so to speak, that you just have not had a chance because you're so busy?
What do I want to conquer?
Yeah.
Boy, that's a tough question. Because all the hills I'm climbing, are the verticals I want to be in right now. So the next thing to conquer. Oh, I can share one project I'm working on. It's a cultural exchange between the Caribbean and home. Well, home being Africa. So putting together that exchange where it's getting the African artists more involved in the Caribbean scene and the Caribbean artists more involved in the African scene.
Okay.
So pushing that over the hill. That would be my next big thing.
Where in Africa in particular?
Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, and Kenya.
Are this? I mean, obviously we're all black folks. Are there similarities in the cultures?
What?
Okay.
You go to Ghana, you'd swear up and down you're in Jamaica.
Yeah. I've been to Kenya. I've been to Gambia. So I kind of
like it's. I'm like, wait, hold on.
Yeah. I know.
This not what
I know. Where am I? I get it. But you have to go there to really experience it. I encourage people to always
go to Africa.
Yeah.
Pick a time, pick a flight, and go. Go to Ghana. Go to Nigeria. Just go, because you will experience things, and the energetic feeling on the ground is just different. It is very, very different. And I had a conversation with a guy where he said, welcome home to the place where you'll never be hunted by people that don't look like you.
Wow, that's powerful.
And I was just like,
but where was this, in Ghana?
Wow. Well, I just stood there, just.
Yeah. Would you ever live in in one of those regions?
Oh, my time in America is coming to an end.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm going yet, but I know I'm moving out of America soon. So I don't know where yet though. But yeah, somewhere with heat, because this.
Well, you're a Caribbean guy, so of course.
I mean, but just the idea going from 13 degrees up to 64 in one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't do it.
What else you want folks to know about, LeVar, aka Spyda?
I'm not easy. Oh, sorry. I'm easy to get in contact with if you're serious about what you want to do. If you want to play games, I have no time for it. That's really it. So if you want to put together an event, we can work together. If you want to get training, we can work together. If you want to build something new or just experiment just based on my knowledge of navigating certain things, even going after sponsorships, I'm always an open door if you're serious about it. The moment that I feel like you're joking, I'm just...
Yeah. Any tidbits, any little hints about Ace this year before you go?
Red is going to be insane.
Red.
Just SSS Red.
SSS Red.
Red is going to be insane.
I mean, it's always insane. I've always been someplace else, but I've seen the pictures, I've seen the videos.
This year's going to be crazy. This year's going to be much crazy. Much crazier.
Okay.
It's called Fire Jab for a reason.
Okay.
SSS Fire Jab. That's just understand. Have you not seen the flyer?
I haven't seen the flyer yet, no.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
SSS Fire Jab. That's the event I'm most.
And that's normally on the Sunday.
Monday.
Okay.
Oh, and then we shocked the scene when we made an announcement that Sun Chill is joining Ace.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I saw that on your page, and I kind of wondered the connection. But now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's now a part of Ace Weekend.
So
that's huge.
Like I said,
that's huge.
We're making moves this year. This year's going to be a lot of fun. So once you get your package, you can go to everything. Wow. And you're in everything.
All inclusive one. Okay.
You're in everything. So
okay.
Yeah, like I said.
Where do you rate Atlanta's carnival in terms of the carnivals in the U.S.? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fourth.
Okay, then who you have at number 3, 2, and 1?
Number 1 is Miami.
Okay.
I mean, just based on the sheer volume.
Gotcha.
Well, if we're talking about experience or attendance, what are we talking about?
Both, actually. Attendance actually being number 1 for me in terms of
attendance. Miami's first, New York second.
Okay. New York is still second.
New York. The thing about Miami has an influx of both New Yorkers and Caribbean people, whereas New York has an influx of the people in the America going up to New York. But New York's crowd in itself is just massive. But that's where that takes place. So it's Miami, then New York. Third is a toss-up because Hollywood had a peak, but then COVID happened, so they're rebuilding Hollywood.
So you would put Hollywood in front of Atlanta?
In terms of attendance, yes.
Really?
Because when Hollywood was at its peak, it had more people, and that route was longer.
Okay.
That route was much longer.
Okay.
So
okay.
If it gets back to where it was, then it will hold. That's why I said third is a toss-up, but it will have its hold again.
Okay, so then you have Atlanta at 4, then maybe Houston at number 5, maybe? No?
Orlando.
But Orlando is one day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Houston's carnival has some work to do. They have a vibe. They just have some work to do logistically, and they'll be all right. Okay. It's just they definitely have some work to do. Okay. So we'll see what they have in store for this year.
And then Carolina still has a carnival as well.
Yeah, South Carolina. But that's more of a festival. That's more of a festival where she put together a block party at the end of it versus a how would you say, a route per se. So that's a bit different, but that still does it. That still
And Stephen, I think he still has a hand in that as well.
No,
he doesn't have it. Because I remember the first year he was
Right.
very much a part of it.
Yes.
Because I went there because he invited me there. So.
Yeah, so that's still there. So that's South Carolina Carnival. But yeah, Stephen no longer has a hand in that one. So,
Okay.
But in terms of carnivals in the U.S., there's a way for all of the carnivals to go to be able to compete with anything taking place in the Caribbean. But they're here to represent, and it's for us as a culture to support that and to make sure it is a success, because it is easy to badmouth Carnival from the outside, but step into the ring.
Gotcha.
Get into the ring. Help
Gotcha.
organize. Help with logistics. Help with go on a planning team. Join a mass band. Do whatever it takes to make Carnival a success, because it is our culture. Because a lot of people talk from the outside and have no idea what it takes to put it on.
Right. In terms of the world, would you still say Trinidad is the number one carnival in the world?
No.
No. Who is the number one?
Attendance? Brazil.
Brazil.
That's you're talking 3, 4, 5 million people.
Wow. Okay. So Brazil.
And full governmental support, not partial. Trinidad is the mecca of soca and the mecca of Caribbean carnivals, period. No, there's no taking that away from anybody. That carnival, in terms of experiencing the culture and experiencing the music, is unmatched. But in terms of attendance, Brazil, by far.
Where does Nottingham falls into the realm of?
Notting Hill is
Notting Hill, yeah.
The sheer mass of Notting Hill, I don't even know if you can actually put that on the scale, because it's the thing about Notting Hill that's very different, and this is the same thing with Toronto. The amount of people that are not playing mass, that take place, that walk in the parade is ridiculously huge. I mean, huge. So it's like, in other cultures, you see the people on the side of that ain't happening. Everybody's in. I mean, I can show you pictures of, like, in Caravana, the Stormer situation is absolute. I can show you pictures where you don't even see masqueraders anymore. I'm on top of the truck and I took a picture and you just see a sea of people and nobody's in costume. Wow. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a sight to see that people come out for the culture, but I wish there was a little bit more structure in controlling it so people can actually experience it the way it's supposed to be. So,
what about Jamaica?
Jamaica Carnival, I haven't been there in a while, so I haven't seen the growth. I haven't been there in quite a while. I want to say at least 6 years. So, the last time I was down there for that was when I was on tour with Destro, and that was 2015, 2016.
It's been a minute, yeah.
So it's been a while since I've been out. Now it's 24, so it's more like 8 years.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think about dancehall and reggae being a part of the carnival culture?
I'm not against it, but there's a time and place for it, because a lot of arguments take place where soca is seasonal, and that's how a lot of people feel. So this is the season for soca, because even in Trinidad, once the season done, it's back to dancehall, like dancehall a beat. It's having it included in the culture. I mean, it's Caribbean culture, so you can't exclude it.
Correct, but there's some purists, quote unquote purists, who think that dancehall and reggae has no part.
I'm Jamaican.
Carnival.
I curate carnivals.
I understand that, but you would agree that there's some folks.
You're right. There's a lot of people that say no other genre, but you also have to believe some of these purists don't believe any soca that is not generated by Trinidad should not be played. So
that's a whole other can of worms.
Right. So if you listen to some of these people, they sound stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I give an example. Somebody made a whole live a couple years ago when Mr. Killer won Soca Monarch. Why is somebody not from Trinidad winning? So the name of the event is International Soca Monarch. Make that make sense. And you want to be vexed because somebody that makes soca continuously and makes people happy won International Soca Monarch, but he's not Trinidad, he's Grenadian, and you're upset about that. But
on that note, It's been a very interesting Take 5 because I've had somebody who's sitting there who knows a lot about the culture, knows a lot about a bunch of different things actually, and who's been.
I try.
You try. This is part 1. In another couple of years, we're gonna do part 2 and see if he's changed.
5 years down the road.
Yeah. See if when he moved. I'll probably do this interview in Africa somewhere.
That'd actually be dope.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah,
it would be dope.
Do that.
My brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This has been another edition of Take 5. My special guest today is LeVar, aka Spider, aka Ace Weekend, aka a whole bunch of other names. We'll catch you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. YouTube.com/RicoVibes. Subscribe to the channel, share, like the video, do everything you need to do to let them know about us here at Take 5. We catch you next time.
This episode of Take 5 with RicoVibes is brought to you by
Jamaica, Jamaica. Me love Jamaica, me nah sell out.
Join us in paradise, where 7 miles of white sandy beaches, beautiful people, delectable food and pulsating music, energy and vibes is the norm.
You wanna miss anytime we are party.
Let's celebrate 15 years of making dreams a reality. It's Campari Dream Weekend, Negril, Jamaica, August 2 to 6th, 2024. 5 days of non-stop premium drink and food inclusive events. It's the festival that never sleeps, featuring local and international artists and DJs that leave you breathless day and night. Forget all the stress that life brings for 5 days of fun can done.
My dude.
Come to Jamaica. Come to Campari Dream Weekend. Starting from as low as $300 for 8 events over 5 days with $100 deposit. All events are premium drink and food inclusive. Book now at dreamweekend.com. Must be 18 years or older to attend. Drink responsibly.